back at it with the bass sax. Let's open this thing up and see what's inside. This is actually the biggest case ever. So inside, we have a peg that you can use instead of a neck strap, the actual bass sax, the massive neck, and then this is the bass sax mouthpiece. So it is actually a bass sax mouthpiece with the bass sax ligature, and then I just use a baritone saxophone Legere. So for the second UT Wind Ensemble concert of the year, I will be playing bass saxophone on Maslanka's Symphony No. 8. Today we're gonna go through the part a little bit. I'm gonna tell you about the bass sax, my struggles and successes with it, and we're just gonna play a little bit and you're gonna see what it sounds like. So I actually don't know why I have my neck strap on. I don't use a neck strap for this because we have the peg. The hardest thing about this instrument is adjusting the height of the peg. I'm pretty short and I don't have the longest arms, so I have to like really reach down but also be able to have the mouthpiece at a correct height. So I'm constantly adjusting this throughout the rehearsal. Makes my ears rattle with how much vibration there is. So if you don't know, the bass sax is just below the baritone sax in hierarchy. It is in the key of B flat, so the same as tenor and soprano saxophones. This is actually, I think, one of the nicest bass saxophones they make. It is the Selmer Super Action 80 Series 2. So very nice, very expensive. I think it retails around $31,000 if you were to buy one new. UT actually owns this one. We actually have 3 bass saxes here, which is really cool. The other 2 are old cons, but this one's pretty nice. And if you're new to the saxophone, it's rarely used in wind band. I've only had to bring it out about 2 or 3 times. The last time I did was Percy Granger's Lincolnshire Posy. Super fun part, multi-movement, and the Wind Symphony actually just played it. So I've actually been sharing the bass with another studio member the last couple of weeks. So I'm not sure you can tell, but it is very hard to cross the break on this. I would compare it to clarinet in that regard, that crossing the break is extremely difficult. You have to make sure your embouchure is set well and that the back of your tongue is set well. Like sometimes bari sax middle D can be a struggle, and it's even amplified on this big thing. The other odd thing about this instrument is there's no low A key, like most bari saxophones. There is in fact C5, so high F sharp, which is really odd because when are you ever gonna play that high? If anything, I'd love to have low A because there's a lot of parts in these pieces that I've played where it's obvious that it'd be nice to have that nice rooted low A. Concert G. Let's play a little bit of Maslanka 8. Most of the time I do have whole notes, but there are a few cool licks in here that I'll play for you now. Oh, that lick is disgusting. Everything is off of low D. Man, yeah, that difficulty of crossing the break that I was talking about is just crazy here. There's a lot of cases where it might be more helpful and more beneficial to, instead of using octave D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 octave key, replace the octave key with C1, and that actually vents the octave just fine, and sometimes response is better. It's just a little bit more difficult ergonomically to finger. So here, the first one is normal D, and the second one is fingered with C1, with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that makes a much better tone. I almost pass out every time. So much air. And what sucks the most is that right behind me in the ensemble is contrabass trombone. So Eric's back there blasting, and I've just got no chance. Like, some of the stuff is a little bit more exposed and I get to really play loud and it's nice and big and I love it, but half the time contrabass trombone's right behind me and there's zero chance anyone in the audience is gonna hear it. For the entire last page, I have a low C sharp, literally tied whole note, like the entire last page. It lasts from measure 317 to 361. Absolutely insane. Anyways, this thing's really cool. I always enjoy getting put on it. I get to sit in a different part of the ensemble than you normally would as an alto saxophonist. You get to sit right in front of the bass trombonist, tubas, and you get to play the root of the chord, which is always super fun. You have to have really good ears for this, just like you would as a tuba player. Intonation is really difficult on this, as you can probably tell. It's definitely an acquired taste and an acquired skill for sure. And logistically, it's just a nightmare to carry around. As you can see, the big case here, it doesn't make anything easy. You pretty much have to push in all the way, and even then you're gonna be flat on most notes. So intonation is very hard, and you've got to have a good baritone saxophonist sitting next to you in order to match with them. You can neck strap it, I'll show you guys, and it's a little awkward. I don't know how Lucas Hopkins does it. In terms of like key placement and everything, everything's pretty open. What's odd is that the TF key, or chromatic F sharp, is actually smaller than the Bis key. You can't actually see very well, but the Bis key's massive. And then the biggest difference here is the distance between G sharp and your ring finger is actually massive. Like normally G sharp, I'm swinging and missing, but here I have to put it so far down. And so then you can think about how far down low B flat is. It's ridiculous. I think the funniest part about this is that it has a lyre holder. Like, who's using this out on the marching field? Alright, that is enough of that for today. I feel like I've already hurt my neck a little bit using the neck strap. That's why I strongly recommend the peg. If you haven't checked out my other bass sax video, I will link that above. I hope you enjoyed getting a little bit of insight on the bass saxophone, and we'll be having our UT1 Ensemble concert on October 12th, where I will be playing the bass saxophone on Maslanka's Symphony No. 8. I hope you can join us. Thank you for watching. Oh, that is tiring.